You're rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.
Massimo Rivola, CEO of Aprilia Racing, couldn't hide his disappointment and confusion after watching the 2025 Hungarian MotoGP. In the tense race, Marco Bezzecchi, who had shown promise at the front, was once again unable to withstand the pressure from Ducati's alien, Marc Marquez. Rivola was seen repeatedly shaking his head in the Aprilia paddock. For him, what happened on the track was a clear indication that there was still a large gap that the team and his bike had yet to close. Bezzecchi gave everything. The problem wasn't courage, but how our bike lost its edge at crucial moments. When Marc started attacking, our bike seemed to lose its edge, Rivola said. The big question now arises, where does the problem lie? Is it the engine, which isn't as powerful as the Ducati during acceleration? Is it the rapid loss of tire grip? Or is it the setup that made it difficult for Bezzecchi to maintain stability in the final laps? Rivola emphasized that Aprilia must find an answer quickly. We had a bike with potential, but that potential was lost when we had to fight directly against Marquez. Bezzecchi fought hard, but when your opponent is Marc, even the slightest flaw will be immediately exploited, he added. Now, Aprilia faces a major dilemma. Bezzecchi continues to try, but without a real solution on the technical side, they can only watch Marc Marquez advance and leave them behind. For Rivola, this failure is not just about the race result, but a signal that Aprilia Racing must immediately address all the issues within the garage before the season is completely lost. And here's the complete news. The 2025 Hungarian MotoGP once again demonstrated Marc Marquez's sharpness on the track. Meanwhile, from Aprilia Racing, their CEO, Massimo Rivola, was clearly disappointed and confused. In the paddock, Rivola repeatedly shook his head, as if in disbelief at what had just happened to his rider, Marco Bezzecchi. Bezzecchi, who had been given great hopes with a solid start and a competitive position in the early laps, ultimately succumbed to Marc Marquez's brutal onslaught. What initially looked promising turned into a spectacle of Marquez's Ducati devouring every small advantage Aprilia held. Rivola remained silent, then spoke with a meaningful sentence. Marco tried everything. He fought with his heart, but our bike seemed unable to maintain its performance when Marc approached. Once the Ducati started to unleash its power, we had no answer, said Rivola, sounding disappointed. So what was the real problem? Was the Aprilia bike losing power on the straights? Was the problem with the rear tire wearing out too quickly? Or was it a setup that lacked balance between speed and stability? Rivola himself didn't deny that Aprilia still has significant work to do. We knew the bike had potential. But that potential disappeared in the final stages of the race. Bezzecchi couldn't withstand Marc's onslaught because every small weakness was immediately exploited, he continued. For Rivola, the failure to hold off Marquez wasn't just a matter of losing on the track, but also a reflection of Aprilia's need to quickly address the fundamental problems with their RSGP package. According to observers, several factors revealed Aprilia's weaknesses. First, the Ducati's stronger acceleration made it difficult for Bezzecchi to maintain position on the straights. Second, uneven tire degradation caused Bezzecchi's bike to lose grip at crucial moments. And third, Marc Marquez's experience in wheel-to-wheel duels always puts additional psychological pressure on his opponents. Bezzecchi himself could only sigh after the race. He admitted that he had tried to close every gap, but Marquez's Ducati always found a way to overtake. I tried to hold on, but my bike was shaking too much under braking. When Marc came, I couldn't do anything, Bezzecchi said. Aprilia now faces a crossroads. If the technical issues aren't addressed soon, they risk continuing to be victims of Marc Marquez's resurgence in the 2025 season. Rivola frankly admitted, we have to be honest with ourselves. There's something wrong with our bike package. If we don't find a solution soon, Bezzecchi will never be able to fight Marc in this condition. Rivola's shaking of the head in the paddock wasn't just an expression of disappointment, but a stern warning to the entire Aprilia technical team. They must work harder, find a breakthrough, and give Bezzecchi a weapon worthy of the duel. Because without that, every time they face Marquez, the result will be the same. Aprilia can only watch the alien racer speed away from them. The 2025 Hungarian MotoGP was a highly anticipated series, particularly the heated duel between KTM's young talent, Pedro Acosta, and MotoGP legend Marc Marquez, now riding for Ducati. From the moment the starting lights flashed, all eyes were on the two riders at the front, creating expectations that a fierce battle would ensue throughout the race. However, the reality was quite different. Pedro Acosta, who had long been touted as a beginner of the new era of MotoGP, seemed to struggle to match Marquez's speed and aggressiveness. From the start of the lap, Acosta tried to stay close, waiting for an opportunity to overtake, but as the race progressed, the gap between him and Marquez widened. Marquez's Ducati looked like a monster on the straights, and Marquez's signature risk-taking riding style left Acosta seemingly defenseless. In every corner, Marquez displayed his still-sharp racing instincts, seemingly fearless despite the Hungarian track's notoriously tricky and pitfall-filled conditions. Meanwhile, Acosta, despite trying to maintain his pace, appeared more cautious and missed several crucial moments. This allowed Marquez to pull further away, leaving Acosta alone, unable to counterattack. The race commentator even called this moment a harsh reminder that Marc Marquez remains the alien king on the track. The nickname, once considered a thing of the past, was now vindicated once again. Marquez not only defeated a young rider like Acosta, but also demonstrated that his combination with Ducati was an almost unbeatable package. Pedro Acosta himself, after the race, appeared disappointed but still paid tribute. He admitted that chasing Marquez was like trying to catch a shadow. KTM had worked hard, the bike felt competitive, but when faced with Marc, it all seemed futile. He's on a completely different level. I tried everything, but Ducati and Marquez are in another dimension, Acosta said simply. A tense start to the race. When the starting lights went out, Acosta immediately took off with confidence. His KTM raced quickly trying to take the lead. In the first few corners, Acosta even briefly led, sending the Hungarian crowd into hysterical cheers. However, everything changed when Marquez began to find his rhythm. Marquez's Ducati Bezzecchi GP25 looked like a monster. On the straights, his speed was unstoppable, while in the corners, Marquez once again displayed his trademark style, aggressive entry, steady exit, seemingly defying the laws of physics. Acosta tried to defend, stay close, and even forced the KTM's tires to work harder than usual. An unequal battle. Lap after lap, Marquez
rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby I don't need no